What's up, guys? Welcome to the second ever episode of the Doordash Podcast. And today we got a really special guest coming on for you guys. And obviously, if you saw the title of this video, you know who that is. But before I get into that and we give him a call here, I just wanted to go over how much this podcast and how much my channel has made so far. Like I promised, I'm going to be completely transparent and give you guys how much money I'm making from this YouTube channel so that maybe it motivates you to start your own. And so far in the 9 days since I've been monetized, I have made $150.19. So that's a pretty good amount of money. I'm creeping up there, making more every single day. So hopefully that motivates you to maybe start a YouTube channel of your own. And with that said, let's get right into this interview with Doordash Dad. All right, welcome Doordash Dad, our first official guest of the Doordash Podcast. So this is exciting. I'm really excited for this episode, guys. It's going to be a treat for you, and let's welcome in Doordash Dad. How's it going, man?
Mike, how you doing? How you doing, man?
Doing great. How are you doing?
I am doing fantastic. I can't believe that I was voted in first. I am humbled and shocked, and Nugs and Eli out there, man. I can't believe this old man got voted in.
Hey,
that works for me, man. But I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, you're like the father of all of us. So I guess we had to get you on first.
I guess.
Yeah, man.
I'm honored though, man. And I like what you do over here, man. So keep up the good work.
Hey, thanks. I appreciate it. I've been watching you for a little while, so it's cool to have you on. For sure. So first off, I just wanted you to kind of tell the audience, like, give your story, give why, like, give your background, and just kind of go into how you got started door dashing, and like what made you start a YouTube channel as like Doordash Dad. Just get into everything.
Man, okay. All right. Well, it was 2015 and I applied to become a school bus driver, and I got that in my CDL Class B. And I started doing that, and I thought I was going to hate it. I wound up loving it. But the issue is when you drive a school bus, many people say, well, what do you do when the kids are in school? Exactly. So you have trips, and sometimes you have like mid routes where people need to go from point A to point B, and you fill in. But if you don't have one of those, you literally do nothing. You can go home, you can do something else. You could take a nap, do whatever you want, and then you come back and finish the rest of the day as the high schoolers start to get out of school. So the years go on. I do that for about 3 years, and a situation came up where I was getting bored, and I said, well, what can I do to fill that time and potentially make some extra money? So I signed up for Instacart, and I did that, and that was okay. But then I signed up for DoorDash, and then when I started, and this was February of 2019, so things were a little different than they are now. The base pay was higher. It was $5. So I started doing it, and I was like, man, this isn't bad. So I would still do it in between shifts, and I would do it for about 3 hours. So then a situation came a couple months later in May of 2019 where I was kind of put in a situation where I had to take on my son full time. I would share custody with him when him and his mother, his mother, it would be me for a week and her for a week. So then she said, hey, I need your help. I said, what is it? So basically 2 years later, he's still predominantly with me. So that's why I went full time into DoorDash, because when he's in school, I'm driving the school bus. So it was difficult for me to get him to school and be there to pick him up. And that's how I got into DoorDash full time. And I was like, man, I can make money from this. And I just went full time, and I've been doing it full time for 2 years. I'm at about 4,700 deliveries. And then as far as the YouTube channel, I have a second channel. And when it was about February, I think it was January of last year, right before the pandemic hit. And I was just like, man, DoorDash plays a lot of games. So how could I help people from my experience to maybe get around or navigate the bumpy road that DoorDash tries to put in front of them? And so I started Doordash Dad, and then thanks to B Hunt, I kind of took off from there, and that took about a year, but that's what happened, man. And here I am almost 8K later and talking to people like you. So that's the story of Doordash Dad, man.
That's cool, man. Like, Yeah, DoorDash is great. You can make good money doing it. And it's honestly surprising in my opinion. Like, I don't think it's that hard of a job. Like, if you know the strategies, you know how to do it, you can make good money. So
Yes, you can. Yep.
I totally understand why you switched over full time. I actually switched over full time to just like, I guess it was just a couple months ago because I was into real estate for a while. And
Mm-hmm.
I actually was making better money door dashing than I was in real estate. So I just decided to make this YouTube channel and go for it, because I was making better money. So I totally feel that. And yeah, it's a good time. And I saw what you were doing, and I kind of wanted to do something similar. I wanted to help people because
Mm-hmm.
DoorDash had, just like you said, they throw all sorts of curveballs at you all the time, and there's always new strategies that you learn along the way. And so I'm about 4,000 deliveries in as well. So
Wow.
yeah,
Okay.
so
All right. That is awesome, man.
yeah, I actually started back in my first year was 2018.
Okay.
And so I did it just like barely part-time, really like just a couple hours a week. Once I'd get off work at like midnight, I would just go do like the really late night shift.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just how it all started. So I've seen it go through a lot of different phases over the years, and I'm sure you have too.
Mm-hmm.
So the next question I had for you was how long you've been dashing for, but I guess you pretty much answered that already in your story. So we will go on to the next. We'll go on to the next one. What's one thing that you wish you would have known when you began your DoorDash career?
Just how like crooked they were. And I know it sounds, but just how much of a battle it would be to try to get a fair wage, a fair base pay, be treated fairly. And I think that that's one thing that I wish I would have known. But, Blake, it wasn't better, but a lot of people, the base pay, you probably remember this as well, but the base pay was $5.
Yeah.
The minimum you could go was $5. And I remember when they changed it, then it came out that the subsidizing thing was going on, and then you start getting the $2 to $3. And then, but thankfully I'm pretty good at adapting, even though I might not like it. And I'm pretty good at it. So I think that's one thing I wish I would have known, is just how tough it was going to be. Like, you can't stay settled, because they're going to throw something new at you all the time.
Yeah, I agree with that. Something that I wish I had known right off the bat is like, you need to just be consistent, and the wage is not going to follow. Like the wage, sometimes you're going to make $35 in an hour, and other times it's going to be 17, 18 bucks. Like I went into it thinking like, okay, I'm going to make this amount of money every single day. And you can't really do that with DoorDash.
Very true.
It's all up in the air. Sometimes you'll get a $40 tip randomly. So like, it is just, it's random for sure. All right. This one's kind of interesting, and I want to get your opinion on this, because my opinion on college is that it's a waste of time and money for a lot of different people, because they go into it not knowing what they want to do with their life, and they're kind of just doing it for their parents. They don't want society to look at them bad for not going to college. And so I wanted to see if you could name a better job to get right out of high school when you turn 18. If there's a better job out there than DoorDash, because I personally don't think there is.
Well, you know what, Blake? You're closer to that age than me. It was a long time ago, man. When I was 18, we were still in the 90s. SWV was still a thing. Sync was on their way out. So on their way in. I'm sorry. So Backstreet Boys, all that stuff. It's been a while, man. So you probably know better than I do. But what I'll say about that is I think that, even for instance, man, I'll give you some accommodation right now. I think that the way that you do things is surprising for what you are, because I believe you probably are close to that Gen Z, right?
Yeah, I am Gen Z.
Okay, so
I'm only 21. I just turned 21.
Okay, so you're part of that. So what you're doing is not what we typically see. So I think that it would be awesome. You just need your own vehicle, all that stuff. But what you have, Blake, that the 18-year-olds and stuff like that, the people coming out of high school need is drive.
Yeah.
And that's what they need. So I think that it would be a great job to get into. But can they be their own boss? Can they,
true.
you know what I mean? So,
That's
but I think you're closer to, to knowing than I am. But I think it would be awesome. And I'd put it like this. If it was around when I was 18, I would have loved to do it. I started working at the post office. I came out straight out of high school and started working for the USPS.
Okay.
And that was it, man. So, but yeah, I think it would be great for somebody to get into right out of high school.
Yeah, for sure. I totally agree with that. And I honestly wish I would have done it so I was close to 19 years old when I first started doing it, but I wish I would have done it in high school when I was 18, because you get out of school at like 2:30 or 3, and you could you could hit the peak hours right at dinner time and just make bank. Because I was working at Taco Bell when I was in high school.
Oh,
and
man.
I was not making good money there.
Yeah, I heard the story, man. That would have been awesome for you to come out. You hop in your car in the senior parking lot and start dashing, man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I could have made such better money, set myself up even better than I am right now. So I wish I would have gotten it sooner. So if anyone out there is listening and you're like 17, 18 years old, I highly suggest it. Before you start going to college, figure out what you want to do first and just make money before you start getting into all that debt. Because so we're going to get into some finance stuff, because I do like talking about finance for sure. I mean, the name is more finance, but so I just kind of wanted to give a little advice right here. Like, my advice would be to, if I could go back and do it all, I would, the second I turn 18, start door dashing and start saving up money. Even if I did want to go to college, I never wanted to go because I just wanted to do my own thing. But if you do want to go to college, just save up the money first, and then maybe a year or two down the line, you'll maybe switch your thinking and think oh, I want to do something on my own. Or maybe by then you'll figure out what career you actually want to get into, and it's not just going to be wasting your time. So I think you'll have $10,000-$20,000 saved up if you're smart with your money. So
that'd be awesome, man. That would be amazing. Yeah, I like that, man. That's solid advice.
Yep. Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're
All
welcome.
right. So now we're going to get into we were already giving out some advice. So I just wanted to get your advice. What advice would you give to someone their first day starting out as a DoorDash driver? What is the main few things you would give them to start off with?
Well, the first thing I would do is say, if you don't have a YouTube account, create one. If you do, subscribe to people like Blake Finance, Doordash Dad, UDM, all of them, all of the gig econ people, because you are going to need a ton of help.
Yes.
A lot of people accept every order when they first start. I've had several people contact me that they don't know any better. So I would definitely say, get as much information as you can, and maybe one of your friends is doing some type of gig work. Maybe DoorDash is the most popular. So, have them in your back pocket and stuff like that. Because it might be a rough day for you, but it's not because the job is rough. It's because there's so many small things that you need to, if the app freezes, if your phone, so there's so many things. The GPS is wrong. What do you do? Do you have to call? Do you have to chat? What happens if, this and that? So I would say to have a resource ready for you to be able to fall back on in case of emergency.
For sure. I love that advice. Yeah. When I first started, I thought it was a good hour if I hit $15.
Oh,
because
no.
I did not, I would accept orders that were $5 for 7 miles and different stuff like that. Cause you just honestly don't know. You get this order and it's honestly exciting when you're first doing it. It's oh wow, it shows me the money I'm going to make. And I just got to go pick up food. That's all I got to do. So it's exciting at first, but you don't know the money you can actually make when you start off, and DoorDash gives you nothing. So you're kind of just going in blind. So I love that advice right there. All right. Next we got, what is one common myth about DoorDash that you want to debunk right here, right now?
Is that you can't do it full time. That, to me, that is that it's not a real job. That it's skillless, all of those, man. That is a giant myth. There are people that make $1,300 a week.
Yes.
I myself have made that in a week. So for me, it's that you don't have to have a skill, which is false. You don't have to. It's not a real job, which is also false. and that you can't do it full time. So those are three myth busted myths that I want to debunk today. There are a lot of people that do this for full time, and they just do one app. So I'll throw in a bonus one that you can't do just one app. You absolutely can. It is a completely different strategy than multi-apping.
Yes,
but you can do one app. You just got to know what. And the thing about I want to kind of add another myth, like busted myth. I tried to sign up with multi. I didn't purposely just stay with DoorDash. I've tried to reach out. Grubhub is like the top of the line, and they're very difficult to get into in my market.
yes.
And with Uber Eats, I guess it was a typo on my background check, and I've been fighting with them for like a year. So I don't know. Yeah, exactly. So I've kind of like been stuck unintentionally with DoorDash. And so being a one app guy, I'm dissecting this app. I'm ripping it apart, trying to figure out, and this service, trying to figure out how I can help people the most. So those are like the myths, man, that I would like to bust, is that it's not a real job. You can't make a living full time, and you can't do this, you can't do that. You can do all those things. Yeah. And you can work when you want to. So it's amazing to me. You just gotta have the stamina to sit in the car for long periods of time.
Yeah, no,
stuff
it's
like
true.
that. Yeah, man.
It can get rough on your back, especially. Like I get sore.
Absolutely, man. Imagine me. I'll be 42
I
this
know.
year. And man, I woke up today with a little back pain, a little lower back. So do some stretching, crazy, man, and get back out there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, those are all myths that, like, I've even had people, I'm sure you do too, that comment like all this stuff that you can't make money doing it, that it's just a bunch of crap. And like, that's just the biggest thing, is that you can make amazing money, honestly, like better than a lot of jobs. And that's going back to the college thing. Like, so I have siblings and like brother-in-laws and stuff like that all went to college, and I make more per hour than them. They graduated with a full degree. They're in debt, and I have no debt, and I make sometimes I can make double what they make an hour. And so like, that's another myth that I want to bust, is that like you don't need an education to make good money. Like even with DoorDash, you can do it and make a good amount of money if you're smart with your money too. You got to make sure you're saving and doing stuff like that. So that's just another myth I'd like to personally bust right there. And next we got, let's see. So this one might be juicy.
I was not prepped on these questions either, so this is the first time hearing them.
He was not. So what is your honest opinion about DoorDash as a company?
Oh, that's you know what it is. That they're terrible. They're terrible. They don't care about. They pretend to care, but they don't. And I'm just gonna call it like it is. They don't care. If they had to pick one, we are essential to their business, yet they care the least amount about us. They care more about the customer than they do us, but they don't care enough to be transparent with the full payout. They don't care enough to tell the customer. I've heard that some are notified that we have a stacked order and some are not. So for me, they're terrible. They pay me, but it in some cases, man, it feels like I'm like one of those mob enforcers, man. Like I'm the dirty guy. I'm the dude they sent off to collect their money because DoorDash is shady. There are all these things, but they pay me. And you can make, like Blake said, you can make a decent amount of money. So they're terrible. They have a lot of work to do. They are a juggernaut. All they want to do is gobble up everything. They own predominantly, as you stated in your stock videos, they have more combined business than the three others. Well, I know Postmate just got absorbed by Uber Eats, but they had more business than the three. Combined. And what they do is just by sheer force, man. They're taking over. They even have a Dash Force, which I hope I don't offend anybody here, but Dash Force to me they're spies, man. They want these guys to work for them and feed them information so that they can, wiggle their way into a restaurant that didn't want to deal with them. So, I hope I don't get you in trouble, Blake, with your community, because you know me, man, I'm hot. But
yes.
But I think that DoorDash is corrupt, and they need to be transparent with their drivers, and they're really all about themselves.
I totally agree with that, honestly. Like, and I love how you said that they pay you, but in all reality, like, they don't. You make more money from tips for sure. Like, so they pay a fraction of the amount of money you actually make, and I think that's personally wrong too. Like, the fact that we make, I would say, 75% from tips and maybe 25% from DoorDash, maybe less. Like, I feel like that needs to change as well. Like, we are literally the thing that drives their company, and it seems like they know people are going to do it regardless. They know people are going to sign up. They know there's constantly new drivers, and they can get away with it.
Yep.
And I just think it's wrong. I agree with you 100% on that topic. So hopefully we don't get blasted in the comment section. But
hey, look, I'm used to it. It might be new to you, but I'm used to it, man. So
I'll see if I can take the heat.
Just send them my way, man. I'm used to it.
All right. Sounds good. All right. So this kind of goes along with that last question, but what is your stance on the Decline Now movement? Let's get into that a little bit.
Okay, so my stance on the Decline Now movement is I respect what they're doing. They can be kind of rough. The Facebook group. Okay, so if you were to separate the group from the movement, I'm all okay with it, because I like to say I was always declining. So I decline then, decline now, and decline until. And that's until they pay, better base pay without subsidizing tips. So I'm behind the idea of declining lowball orders. And I'm kind of glad you asked me that question, because I think it gets lost on my channel with, I rant and all that stuff. So it gets lost. But I'm behind the movement. But I think that there's a strategy. I'm not going to, if there's a $7 order, 2 miles, no peak, I take that.
Yeah.
I don't have, so for me, I do have a minimum though. I'm not taking $2 orders. I'm not taking $3 stack orders. So I'm behind the idea of what they're trying to do, but just maybe do it a different way as far as because the Facebook group can be kind of mean, man, from what I've heard.
For sure.
So I'm behind it.
That too.
Yeah, I'm behind it, man, because at the end of the day, I know they want what's best, but I'm not part of that. But I decline lowball orders. So yeah,
for sure.
And I'm all behind it, man.
Yeah, same here. I don't necessarily agree with, because like you said, they can be kind of rough, I've heard, and kick people out for doing accepting like a $6 order or something like that.
They have a zero tolerance, man.
Yeah. And so I don't agree with the Facebook group per se, but because I think what they need to realize is it varies market to market. Like some orders that I take, maybe if you're in LA or New York or like some highly, highly populated city, then you're not going to take those. But I'm in a suburb in Utah. So like the fact that like maybe I do have to accept some $5 for 2 mile orders, then like you have to understand market to market, it's going to be different. And so I wish they would I guess they're trying to just be firm with nothing under $7. Like
I think it might even be 8 now.
Is it 8 now?
I think, don't quote me on that. That's not fact, but I think I saw something. I was looking on Facebook, and they've got all these different groups, and I saw something about, because you can look and see like what they accept and what they're about. And I think it said 8. I'm not sure though, but it used to be 7, or it is 7. So yeah.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. If it's up to 8, man, that would be hard in some areas for sure. All right. Well, enough about decline. Now we can move on. And I wanted to get into a topic that's just recent. I don't know if you've been watching any of my videos, but I'm sure you've seen it in the headlines. How do you feel about the government trying to make us employees?
I don't like it, man, because one of the reasons that I do this is because of the independence. Now that independence does come with a lot that you have to go. You don't have a minimum wage. we have base pay. We don't have, I was going to make a video about this. I still might, but I'm going to put it out there. Somebody emailed me a survey which said, if you were required to accept every order, what would you want the benefit to be?
Mm-hmm.
And it was a survey from DoorDash.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Shout out to the person that sent me that. But I don't like it at all. I think I would be more kind of Prop 22-ish than becoming a W-2, because then I can choose whether or not I want to accept the $3 order.
Yeah.
If DoorDash is telling me it is a requirement, mandatory, that I have to accept this, then that's going to take a lot away. Plus, I have things in my life that come up there, and the reason that I chose to do this is because of the flexibility.
Yes.
So they're going to probably take that away if that were to happen, to a lot of extent. So for me, I don't like it at all. I think that, I just don't like that one bit, man. But I've been keeping up with your videos, and I don't like it at all.
So, do you think, because in the news, they've been saying that we think DoorDash just treats us terrible, and that we want change of how they are, how their whole company structures its benefits for us. Are you with that, where you want benefits from DoorDash, and you want insurance benefits, and you want all that comes with an employer, that comes with an employer, or because I feel when you sign up for DoorDash, you know what it comes with. So are you want the benefits, or are you fine with just how it is?
Okay, so you can get benefits. You can contract out and pay a monthly fee for benefits. So
I've seen that.
Yeah, you can do that. So, and that's just not through DoorDash. You can literally hop online. You can look up insurance plans. They will send you a monthly bill. And even DoorDash, is crooked as they are, they'll send you updates about this health insurance company and that health insurance company. I don't want to say the wrong thing here. But for me, I don't want to be a W-2.
Yeah.
So if that comes with getting health benefits, I'm sure there's some other stuff that comes as well. And I'm not going to like a lot of that. Then you got to think about, okay, well, what kind of coverage would it be? How much would they take out and stuff like that? So I want people to be taken care of, but I just don't know if that's the best way.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? So
yeah, I know what you mean. In my opinion, I think they need to change how they pay us when it comes to the base pay and everything like that. Or they need to do something that makes it so that the tips are there's a mandatory tip that the customer has to give, or something like that.
Be careful, Blake. Be careful, man. People are touchy with that, bro.
I know. Man. But I full my whole thing, I 100% believe, I don't care if I get heat for this, but if you're using the service, you have to tip. That's just what comes with it. And that's just my opinion. Sorry for those out there who don't agree, but you're using a service, and that should require you to pay for that service and tip the person who's performing the service. You're not going to go to a massage place, get a massage, and not tip them. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, some people will, man. Some people will.
I guess that's true. You go to a restaurant, and do you just leave no tip?
There are people that do that. Yeah. They just get up, man, and the table's empty. I don't put up with that. So if they're serving you, you give them money, because what I don't think people realize is the service fee, or even just at a restaurant or something, the restaurant is getting all that money. The server is not getting really any of the money that they're paying for the food. And so it just makes sense that they're providing an extra service, which means you add that tip on. Just my opinion. And I like the way you put that, because the way that I look at it as well, in addition to how you feel, is what is one of the highest priced convenience stores of like all time, bro? CVS. CVS is insane.
Yeah.
So you can go to different places. You're like, we have Meijer here, we have Sam's Club, we have places like that in Michigan. And if you go places for convenience, you're using DoorDash for convenience. Now there are some people that are they are stuck in their homes and for reasons they can't get out. Okay. And I understand those people in the situation that they're in. And I think that circumstance is rare.
Yes.
However, if you are using a service, there have been times that I've sat in a house and I have said, I'm not going outside.
Yeah.
So
like, I don't want to get up.
I don't want to get up.
Exactly.
So here you go. I'm going to order out. And you're like, okay, this person is doing what I could do myself.
Yes.
And they're providing a service for me. And here is a minimum tip. Like if you're one of those people that say, okay, well, I need this, I need good service. Okay. Well, it's so many things that come in with your Dasher or Uber Eats driver that we take the food directly from the restaurant. We put it in a hot bag, which we should be doing.
Yes.
And we get to you as soon as we possibly can. That's what we're doing. We're not responsible for putting the food in the bag.
Or the food quality.
Exactly. I have now with COVID, I didn't touch your food before, Blake. I didn't look. I would open the bag. I would look in.
Check the items
as best I could. I'm not going to be putting my hands in your bag.
Yeah.
So,
looking to make sure that they got all the right items in there.
Exactly. But the restaurant is responsible for that. It's like I do a spot check. I'm like, okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now you still get bags unsealed as well from these restaurants. So for me, it's like, if you're one of those people that say, okay, well, it needs to be great service. Okay. Well, at least put a minimum in there. And the thing that really bugs me, Blake, is that you have to, using the DoorDash specifically, you have to go inside the tip option and put 0. And
I know.
That's tough for me.
Exactly. Because it gives you, it tries, like DoorDash tried to make it like a base, because like if you're ordering fast food, then they usually have $2, $3, or $4. If you're ordering from a restaurant, it's like $5, $6, $7, or something like that, depending on the scale of the restaurant you're ordering from. So DoorDash has tried, but yeah, again, like you said, the fact that you have to go in, customize it to 0, it's like
0.
Like it's just
it's offensive. It really is, man. It really is offensive that you had to consciously say no.
It's not like you just forgot to tip.
Exactly. You chose not to.
Exactly.
So it's a little offensive. And that's why I be so mad, bro. That's why y'all see me in my feelings like that, because I wasn't raised like that. And my thing is, if you give excellent service, you get an excellent tip. If you give service, you get like the minimum. Like if you're horrible, then I'm gonna say something to you, but I'm gonna be like, I'm still gonna show you my kindness, and because I know your situation, and I'm gonna leave you a little word of, hey, listen, you could have been a little nicer. Maybe
they were having a rough day or something, and they just couldn't put out the service that you wanted, but you still give them the little tip because they still perform the service.
Exactly. Yeah. So I agree, man.
I think we're on the same page when it comes to that. So now we're going to get into some finance stuff, not really any more news topics or anything like that. But I was just curious, what's the most money you've ever averaged per hour in a day?
Ooh, man. I don't do that, man.
You don't keep track?
I don't. I like mentally I do. I would say about $50, man. $50 an hour. Yeah.
Wow. How long was that for?
It was about 4 hours.
Okay.
See, I go to a spot where there's steakhouses.
Mm-hmm.
There's Benihana, PF Chain, which is expensive for no reason. So I go to those places, and people were. It was, as a matter of fact, it was during the initial lockdown we had here in Michigan.
Okay. Yeah.
And the governor locked us down for a while. I think it was 6 weeks, and I remember
everything was shut down.
Everything was shut. Yeah, you couldn't dine in. You couldn't do any of that stuff. And people were just, and this is before the stimulus checks rolled out. And they were, I remember I dropped off a 2-person meal to Benihana, man, and they tipped me like $40.
Yeah.
And I was, whoa. So I wind up making 200 and something dollars in 4 hours.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Yeah. I remember when COVID first hit and like you were saying, everything was shut down. That first couple of days, people were really nice. Like they would give you huge tips because they knew you were an essential worker and that they could not get food without you. And so like I wish it stayed like that they realized how much of a service we were providing them. But like I remember it was a lunch shift and I made like $45 an hour that shift. And
wow.
it was pretty crazy. And there was like a $4 peak pay too because it was just so packed. But man, that's crazy. 50 plus dollars an hour.
Yeah.
That is,
but yeah, I don't keep track, man. Like I mentally do it, but I know people with notepads and all this other stuff.
I'm so analytical. Like
I know, but I like that, man. We don't see that a lot from the young people today, man.
Yeah. So I track everything. Like I'm like on the minute of how much I make and like.
Tell me you don't have a notepad though. No, you're not out there with a notepad, are you?
No, it's all on my phone. I got it all on the phone. No notepad. I don't even know what paper is. Oh man. But along with that per hour, what's the most money you've made in a day? Just overall, like, did you go like 12 hours, 15 hours? Like, what's the most you've made in a day?
Okay, so here's my thing. I am eager to get out for one of those. I'm gonna tell you, Blake, this is a surprise for a lot of people. I have not spent more than 8 hours dashing in one day. Because, yeah, man, I'll drop my son off at school, and a lot of people don't know that like in your market, Blake, what is the worst time for you to dash? Like, what's the worst time frame in your market that you're just like, I'm going to avoid that at all possible?
I would say like right before lunch, in between breakfast and lunch is just terrible. Like 9:30 to 11, it's like $12 an hour. That's what you'd make.
Mine is between 2 and 4:30. It is a ghost town. So for me, I would drop my son off. I'll go straight to dashing, and then I would go to the gym during that dead time. Mm-hmm. And in some cases, I would dash until he got out of school, pick him up, drop him off. Sometimes I would have to log out. I would have to come back in. Yeah. But now what I've been doing is the most I've ever made in a day is 207, and that's been in 4 hours or so. I spend the bulk of my time now, since he's homeschooled, until he goes back to school from 5. Like today, I'm going out from 5 to maybe 12. So I do 7 hours typically, but even during usually
just late night.
Weekday. Late night, man. I'm the afternoon shift. Yeah. So, but the most I've ever made. Yeah, exactly. And that's what I've learned too. Like you can sit between 2 and 4:30 and get 1 or 2 orders. Yeah. So I started using that time for me to go to the gym,
for sure.
Quick workout in, take a shower, come on back out, man, right for dinner, and finish that up. So I am eager to kind of pull a 24-hour one or something like that, or a 12-hour, 8 hours even. So maybe when he gets back in school and stuff like that, I'll start doing that. But yeah, 207 was the most I've ever made in one day. And I typically spend 4 to 5 hours out a day, man, because I make decent money in that time.
For sure.
So I'm like 175, 180
in
a day. 4 hours. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, like so. I guess to lead into another question, have you noticed a big difference in the amount of money you can make from the time you started till now? Like, have you noticed a huge increase in the amount of orders you're getting and just like the overall busyness of DoorDash?
It's been so long ago, man, but and things were different because for the first 10 months of me dashing, they had the old pay model. So the new pay model showed up, about a year and a half ago. Yeah. And then right after that, COVID started. Now, before that, right after the new pay model started, I lost Top Dasher, which I was I can't believe. I was so hurt. I was so hurt, man, because I'm a guy that likes to be rewarded. Yep. So if I go above and beyond, period. But because I'm like that, I kind of expect it in return. Mm-hmm. And I remember DoorDash would send you out a survey and was like, what can we do? And I remember going into detail, like you should have some type of reward program. Yeah. So I have not been able to really pay attention to the difference, but it does seem like that I get more orders though than I did earlier. Like they're just rolling in and stuff like that. But I think the biggest thing is I have the experience under my belt. So I can kind of quickly, because Blake, I don't know if you were doing it when you said you were. Remember when the timer used to be 90 seconds to make a and so that's what I'm saying. Like, so I think that the orders have increased though. I do believe that.
Yeah, like I don't know. So the very first DoorDash video I ever put out, I believe I did it 18 straight hours, and I only made $326, I believe, in 18 hours. And now, so I think that was only like 6 months ago. And I've noticed that since then, that was like peak COVID time too. Like not many places were open. Now here in Utah, we're pretty much all the way open, no masks. Like everything's pretty much the same. Like the workers wear masks, but like if you go into restaurants, you don't have to wear them. And so we're pretty much all the way back open where I'm living. So
we're still at 50%, man, and masks are mandatory.
Okay. Yeah. So we're like completely out of COVID. And 6 months ago, it was like $18 an hour I made for 18 straight hours. And now I made more than that yesterday in 10 hours.
There you go.
So I've noticed a huge, like, even coming out of the pandemic, like I get so many orders. Maybe that's just my area's gotten way busier with DoorDash and more people know about it now. But I've noticed a huge influx of orders that.
And you know what, too, Blake? They did the Dash Mart in August of last year. Dash Mart became a thing. So before that wasn't an option. CVS, Walgreens,
that's true.
Had to
that's very true.
Opportunities as well. Yeah.
And like I don't even know if Walmart was. When did Walmart get on?
They've been on for a while, man. They've been on. When I started, they were already on.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they were already. I remember
doing Walmart orders back then for some reason.
Yeah, they were already there, man.
Yep. Well, regardless, I guess I just don't remember that. That's weird. All right. Let's see. I wanted to go in. So there's just a couple more questions I got for you.
Okay.
So just based off of like. So you said your most was like that $50 an hour. You made 207. What were the strategies you used? I just want to give the viewers some good information, what strategies they can use and kind of follow what strategies you used to make that kind of money.
Well, the first thing that you have to do, I'm fortunate enough to have, like, I call it like a primo area. And I've mentioned this before. There's a premium steakhouse in the area that I dash. There's a Benihana. There's the PF chain. There's another steakhouse. There's about 6 high-end, in my regard, restaurants where the bills are pretty high. Yeah. And the people, just because you have a high bill doesn't mean that you'll get a high payout.
Yes, very true.
But depending on where you are, the likelihood goes up. So if you're in a place where people can afford to tip you, close to what a percentage of the bill is, then you'll be higher. Like yesterday, I had and I did this on my live stream. So I'll kind of flip it back at you, Blake. In your market, and this goes to the strategy. It was a $70, $80 bill from a steakhouse. I think it was $80. It could have been more, but it was $80 from a steakhouse. Order was ready when I got there. But as I'm ready, deciding to accept it, it's 12.5 miles. The payout was supposed to be $14.50. Now, do you take that? Do you take that order? Okay, it could be rhetorical. It could be rhetorical.
It was no, I'll answer.
Okay.
So I know the restaurants like the back of my hand in my area. And so if I knew that particular restaurant, it's usually a hidden tip, then I think I would take it. And depending on, so you said it was 12.5 miles.
12.5 miles. Payout was supposed to be $14.50.
If it was taking me to another busy area, then I would probably take it. But like where I'm from, sometimes you'll have to go like into the canyon, like up a mountain almost. And so it takes you away from anything. If it was like taking me out there, I wouldn't take it.
Yep. Excuse me. And so there you go. So we just gave him 2 strategies. So I took it and the payout wind up being, I want to say 26 something.
Yep. There you
So
go.
it was, and it stayed. So the strategy that I use is basically there's a formula that you have to remember. If you're taking a regular order, you have to, it's like E equals MC squared, right? You have to base pay plus peak pay plus hidden tip or tip equals payout, right?
Yeah.
So if there is a peak of $3, like here's another one. If it's a $6 payout, it's a $3 peak, and they want you to go 6 miles. Do you take that?
No.
Exactly.
Because then I know they didn't tip.
Bingo. So if you use the formula of base pay is typically 3-ish. They rarely go above 3. Sometimes it'll be 350, 425, but just set the standard base pay for $3 and include the peak, and the rest is history. Like if you use that formula, you still gonna get. And I kind of like being surprised a little bit, Blake, to tell you the truth. Like I would love to know. I would love to know what I was getting paid before I accepted the order. But it makes it not boring. You know what I mean? Like,
it's really true.
Yeah, like I got a $30 tip Thursday, $25 tip Thursday night, and I expected it to be a $12 payout. With the potential to be more, and it wound up being a $30 payout. Yeah. Now, if I would have known that beforehand, I would have been like, hey, I would have been, but it kind of keeps everything exciting. So my thing would be know your market. You got to know, pay attention to the items, pay attention. If they give you a subtotal, do that as well. And it's not going to bang every time. You're going to miss sometimes, but depending on your market, you'll probably hit more than you miss.
Yeah, for sure. I totally agree with that, where it's like you get an 850 order, because those are always the ones that tip you. Like they have the hidden tips in there. And so like you get an 850 and you see like the items and you're like, oh, I wonder how big this one's going to be. Like
exactly.
Kind of makes it exciting. But then like sometimes, like it was actually yesterday, I got an 850 order and it was like a Little Caesars and there was like 10 pizzas on there or something. I was like, okay, this could be a good tip. And it was 850, 2 miles. I was like, okay. And then it was only 850 and there was no hidden tip. And I was like, man, like, so when that happens, it's like discouraging, but then
it's very discouraging.
Excitement of like, how big could this order actually be?
Yeah.
So I totally agree.
But then you move on to the next and you kind of forget about that last one. And then the new one awaits. So yeah, I mean, those guys were wrong though.
Yes.
I mean, at 10%, you said it was so it was like what? And we don't even know if they were hot and readies or they were specialty pizzas. So yeah, they could have thrown you, at least 10%. Like,
exactly,
wow, man, that's crazy.
I know.
Okay.
All right. So the next question I got for you is, like, on my channel, like, as you guys know, we like to break down finances, and I like to go into how much money I make, where I'm putting my money, and all that good stuff. So Doordash Dad, I wanted to get that from you. I wanted you to break down where you're putting your money. Like, just give us an estimate of like percent wise, how much you are putting away for taxes, if you're saving up for a new car, like just all that good stuff. Just kind of break it down. That's how we'll close out this video.
Okay. All right. I had to push back my dash so I can get that money. So what I do is I do 20 to 25% for taxes. And what I started doing recently, it's very difficult for me to save. My mind is weird. So I've been trying to do it my whole life for me to like a consistent way to save. So what I started doing now is, along with the 25% for taxes and stuff like that, I do one challenge that I'm doing now is a $5 challenge. So what I started doing is I start putting up $5 per week, or $5 times the week. So I just hit, I think, and you do it for 26 weeks, and I'm at week 19. So I'm just under $1,000. And before, I would just let everything go to the bank and try to put it in this account and that account and my savings account. And I said, no, it gets overwhelming sometimes when life comes up and you got unexpected expenses, stuff like that. So what I've done now is this way is no stress at all. So the amount increases every week. And I just took out $95 today, as a matter of fact, and that goes aside. When I get to 130, then I'll start the $10 challenge, and it's the same way. So now I'm really sucked into these challenges. I've been looking into sinking funds and savings envelopes and just addicted to these savings channels. So for me, I do it small and then it adds up. So that's the approach that I've been taking. And so far so good, man. So my goal is to hopefully have like 50 grand saved up in a couple years.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that would be nice. So do you don't put any, like, you don't take out money for a new car because, like, eventually your car is gonna go out from door dashing. Like, do you set aside a certain amount of money, or are you just thinking
probably
I'll just pull from my savings?
Yeah, I probably should do that. And that's one of these, like with the envelopes and stuff that I'm going to start doing is, okay, new car fund and this and that.
Yeah.
So I probably should. That's a good one, man. I haven't really thought of it because my car is decent. It's on the new-ish side, but I am looking already to another car of the same type. I have a Nissan Altima. And I'm in love with it. So I'm like, man, I want to get, and I'm the type that I've been talking to my wife about it. And I'm come from a place of you pay the car off and it's like done, you drive that thing into the ground and stuff like that. And now with me getting older, man, it's kind of like, I don't mind kind of investing in something new. So actually, I think I am going to start that, man. Cause I think I still got a nice life out of my car. But I think that would be a great idea. So I think I'm gonna start that, man. Maybe a new car fund or something like that.
Yeah, that's why I've been starting it. Because
nice.
So I bought a brand new car when I became a real estate agent. I was like, I'm gonna make all this money, and like I need a fancy car to try and compete with these other.
That's why you have that car.
Yes.
Okay.
So I went out and I bought a Mercedes, and I mean I love the car, and it actually has a econ mode where I can switch it, and it gets like 32 miles per gallon, so it's pretty good. So I when I DoorDash, I just do that the whole time. But yeah, that's why I originally bought the car. But now it's a write-off, and so I can use it to write off a lot of my taxes, which is really good. And so I guess the next kind of tie-in question is, do you utilize all your write-offs, and like, do you get deep into that? Do you hire someone to do your taxes for you? Because being self-employed, like, there's a lot of stuff that like the average person doesn't know. That you can kind of finagle in the tax system when you're self-employed.
Yeah. So the first time, because I was, before I started dashing, I was using TurboTax, and straightforward, boom, 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 done. All right. So I'm like, cool. I don't have to go anywhere. I don't have to make any appointments or anything like that. So I tried year one of DoorDash, and I was like, oh no, I'm not doing this again. So yes, hiring someone is what I do, because this try to do it myself. And it's all these, like you said, all these little things that you can do. And then I was like, man, am I missing stuff? You know what I mean? So I wanted to make sure that you always got the fear of the IRS, man. Like, you may do something right. So yes, hiring somebody is the way to go. So yes, I do that.
Perfect. Yeah. So I haven't hired someone yet, but I haven't filed a full year of self-employment yet. Cause when I did DoorDash before, it was like, I would make, I don't know, I don't even think I ever hit a $10,000 year.
Okay.
And so like the tax bill was like a couple $100. And so I didn't even care to like write anything off. And I was trying to build income so that like me and my wife can get into a house, because if you write everything off, then you can't get a loan. And so that was the problem I was running into, was like, if I write off all this stuff, then I'm not going to have 2 years worth of income to show. So that's kind of where I'm at right now, is I write off some stuff, but I'm trying to get into a house, get a loan. And so I have to have as much income as possible to get a decent loan for the house, So that's what I'm working on right now. But yeah, I got my savings plan and everything, and yeah, we're chilling. It seems like you're doing good, man. It seems like you're putting out great content. I
appreciate that.
Love
man.
Every time.
As are you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I love the thumbnails, man. Everybody.
Thank you. Yes. Yes. I noticed that like a lot of DoorDash content, they don't use thumbnails really. Like, they're usually just like in their car and they like have a couple of words and stuff. Like, I want to be different. I'm going to do like the full on YouTuber thumbnails that like
you know what happened, man, is for me, I have a second channel, and and when DoorDash started, I was just like, I'm just gonna start a channel. So I remember going into my account, I started a channel, and it was just like, you know, mine was never, it was kind of going to be on the raw side, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I was just like, all right, no thumbnails, no nothing. I didn't put descriptions. I didn't do anything. I just was like, here's the information.
Put it out there, yeah.
Yeah, and I knew that you should do that, descriptions, tags, and all that stuff. So I'm just like, whatever. Yeah. And then, you know, I'm doing it. I'm starting to grow for whatever reason, and I fell away for a long time, and then I come back and I'm growing. I'm at like 200-300, and then CVS lady, and that was that. And so what I noticed is a lot of people do the thumb. It's quite a bit, man. And they always use their face. So for me, I'm just like, whatever.
Yeah. No, that works because that's your style now, right?
Exactly. And that's what so that's what I realized. And I'm like, man, y'all watch this stuff. Like the before Bee Hunt happened, there was a video that said, is there any hope? This is the video that kind of gained momentum. And that's to all the YouTube creators out there. If just keep going, eventually you'll find something that kind of takes you to the next level. Yeah, I'm sitting in my car, Blake, and I had a horrible day dashing. Mm-hmm. I only do one app. I'm sitting in my car, and I'm using the dome light as my light. Yeah, I have a bald head. I'm sitting in this car, and the light is shining on my face. And I started the video saying I look like a serial killer, and it just blew up. And then from that it went into Bee Hunt. And what I've been noticing is people like, you need that raw guy. Yeah, you know, you need to. No, you got Nugs, you got Eli. Like I saw your video with you and Eli, and I'm like, man, this is you know, you got the sound effects and all of that. Yeah. And I'm like, man, you know, I'm old, bro. So for me, and people like, okay, that stuff is cool and we like it, but we also like this over here too. And so that's what I realized, and I'm like, cool, because that's what I want to do anyway. Yeah, exactly.
And it fits perfectly with this, like the style of content we make and all that stuff, the age difference. Like it's perfect, honestly. Yeah. Like,
but I am gonna get a GoPro or some type of ride-along camera. I am gonna do that. And a dash cam, I've been procrastinating, but I got to do that.
Yeah, I got to get a dash cam too.
I am going to get a body cam. I am one that I've been trying these different ones out. The glasses, I got the glasses, Blake. I got that one. And these are pretty good, but the battery life is terrible. Oh, and really? The sound quality is horrendous. Oh. But I'm going to get one that has night vision and stuff like that. And then maybe one day I'll do a weekly where I assemble all the footage and make I can tell you right now, it's not going to be like yours. Video was.
That's what I noticed about yours too, is like you get so many views from just like literally talking. There's no, and it's like cool. I'm so into that because I'm like, here I'm putting in like, I'm showing every order I'm doing all the transitions.
I wanted to do that, man. I just don't have, like, I'm waiting on the camera. I'm waiting to get that and stuff, but I want to do more of that, but I don't know.
Because I think that'd be some cool content, because you've been putting out just like mostly just chill, like in your car stuff for so long that like a video of you doing all that stuff and showing like how much you're making that day. I think that would be really cool to watch.
So the reason that I don't do that is because as you know, your phone is everything when you do this. Oh, yeah. So I'm trying to record with my phone, screenshots with my phone. Yes. I got to use confirm the order. Yeah. And then, so I have an iPhone, so I can't like run the video in the background. I have to exit out the video.
That's so same here.
That's why I don't think I've ever put this out there, but that's why I don't do that, because I don't have a secondary recording device. Yeah. But the plan is to get one. I'll still do my raw videos and stuff, but I am going to do more, like maybe one a week, right? Yeah. I show this is why, because I want to really show this is why I don't take this order.
Yeah. Like, and this is why I accept this. This is why I'm driving to this area. All that.
Bingo. Stuff. So it's coming. But I think that, you know, you need a yin to the yang and stuff like that. And you got the Nugs, you got the Eli's, man. I'm like, how long did it take them to make this video?
Well, Eli puts in the work when he does his editing. He told me he edits like 24 hours sometimes.
I know Nug said he did a 12-hour edit. I'm like,
see, I don't even do that. Like my edits, I'm like,
that video you just made. When the challenge between the two of you, how long did it take you to edit that video?
It took me probably 3 hours, 4 hours. and it took Eli about 12, 15. So like I do edits, but I try and make them not too complicated because I know DoorDash content in general, it doesn't need to be that amazing. Like it doesn't need to be a full on like.
That's what I noticed too.
Like, and so I do the editing. I put in effort to make it entertaining and stuff like that. I try and do different stuff like that. But like Eli does, he goes all in. Like
that is ridiculous.
His are like full on like a movie almost.
Because I edit for my other channel, and just the single transition can take so much. So I know him and Nugs, man. So that's why I'm like, how in the world did I get on here first? I don't know.
Man.
But you know what the people have told me, like, you know, at the end of the day, that's really all we want is that. And they've requested more ride-alongs and stuff, and they are coming. But my thing was, I don't think it was ever to do that. It was just to keep it, you know, just 100%, 100. Like, this is why this happens and blah, blah, blah.
Yes,
but, you know, I'm going to try to add the visuals, but it's hard to do with one phone. It's one recording device.
Yeah, I was going to say this, like, because I used to do, like, my first couple months was just all on my phone, everything on my phone. And I finally bought a camera. But, like, I would literally screenshot the order and forget to accept it. And it would be like a really good order. And like I would screenshot it and then forget. And then it would like pop up the notification like you missed an order. And I was like, are you kidding me? That was like a $10 order.
Yeah.
And so like, that I totally understand why you would want to avoid that because.
Yeah, but the people like it, man. They do like it, but I am going to try to do more and switch up the content every so often, you know, but but it kind of started like I literally said, I don't care. I'm just gonna make videos. I don't care about the video. And then when I started to grow, I was like, okay, this is actually what I did. I said, okay, when I hit 100, I'm gonna start to care more. I hit 100. It was like, okay. When I hit 1,000, I started to care more because I have a second channel, and that channel has
I've seen that channel.
So it's hard to. It's really hard, man. When you start getting into multiple channels, it's like. It's hard to manage, and so I got some new content coming. I'm just trying to get another camera, and then I'll. So if you got any recommendations, man, I'll be more than happy.
Bro, so the camera I got it's really honestly high quality, and it was like only $450, and it's just the Canon M50 EOS.
Okay.
So, and it's really user friendly. It's easy to use. You can look up a YouTube video on it, like watch it for 10 minutes and you'll know how to work the whole camera. Like,
okay.
I was worried, like, cause before I got into YouTube, like all this stuff is brand new to me. I knew nothing about lighting, about audio quality, about video, like anything. I've never done anything like this. So like this camera has been perfect for me. I had never even touched like a physical camera before. Like it was just my phone, everything. Like I had never even worked an actual camera before. And this one's super user friendly. It's just, you can look up a video on it.
Okay. All right.
And it's not that expensive either. And you don't need to buy like a lens for it or anything. It comes with a really good lens. So I recommend it.
All right. Yep. I'm working on it, but I'm trying to, it's coming, y'all. It's coming.
Yes. That's a preview, guys. For everyone watching, Doordash Dad is making some ride-along.
You gotta remember, man, I'm over 40. I'm old, man. I'm old. I got what is this?
Exactly.
Oh, man.
All right. Well, I think that is a great place to end it. I appreciate you coming on. I think we discussed some great stuff, and hopefully for those viewers out there, if you're watching on Apple Podcasts or on YouTube, you were able to get a lot of great content from this and a lot of great strategies, a lot of just great stuff, because I know I enjoyed talking about all this stuff. It was a great time.
Oh, absolutely, man. Absolutely. And I think you and Nugs and Eli, man, you guys are setting good examples for people of you guys of that generation, man, coming up and knowing that you have to be prepared. And also, you might not need to. You can go to college, it's fine, but you also can do something else while you're trying to figure things out. So, appreciate you, man. The content, stuff like that. Keep up the good work with the stock markets and all that, man. And
thanks, man.
And appreciate it. Congratulations on 1,000. You got more to come.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that, man. It was a pleasure having you on for the second episode.
I can't believe I won. I was the first guest, and
Yes.
that's an honor, man. I
Yes.
appreciate the community for voting this old man in.
Yes, and Nugs and Eli, you guys are coming on pretty soon here too. We gotta get you guys on here. Maybe one week we'll all four be on and just discuss some awesome topics. Who knows? Like
that'll be fun too. I'll be the odd man out. But like, what are you guys talking about?
You would be like the head of it all. Like you got the raw following. That's the
Oh
thing. Like,
man,
you
that's
got
crazy.
it. Anyways, well, we will close out this episode. Thank you so much, Doordash Dad. I appreciate you coming, and yeah, keep doing what you're doing, man. I appreciate
Appreciate that,
it.
man. Glad to be here. Thanks, man.
Yep. See ya.